ready for a challenge like Stanford? I mean, obviously physical in the trenches. What's your read on them? You know, especially their front guys on defense.
I mean, you got to hand it to them. They do their technique really well. They got a good front up there. They execute their assignments really well. So it's on us to focus on our technique and make sure we get our assignments right so we can get our guys and the right guys.
They about as physical, defensive line as you're going to see over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean they're a talented unit. That's why it's not. We put it on ourselves that we got to get in the trenches and do what we got to do to make sure our offense can get the yards that we need.
How much pride did you guys take last week in having 4 running backs, go off against Cal in a tight game and not just a garbage time, but 4 guys, meaningful snaps?
I mean, as offensive linemen, you take pride in your run game. That being said, I think there's a lot we could have improved on. Our running backs did a great job of finding holes, but I think we could have done a lot better as an offensive line of giving them better opportunities.
What about the penalties? It seems like in a game like that, no big deal, but maybe Stanford, those could come back to get you guys.
I mean, regardless of the game, regardless of the opponent, penalties are something we don't want, and that's something we're going to have to focus on cleaning up this week and try to execute better.
What could you guys improve on? I mean, in the run game, you guys are putting up big numbers. What could be better, I guess?
I mean, you can always work on your technique, making sure keeping your shoulder squares, hands in the right places, stuff like that, and just making sure we're not missing any assignments and just working on improving every week.
What's it like blocking for Vernon? Mr. Scramble Artist. When he's running around on the fly. I mean, how does that change your job? Make it more challenging up front?
Oh, when you got a guy back there like that, it's fun. I mean, he's always capable of making a play out of anything. And I think we're just working on giving him the time that he needs to execute all these big plays.
But, I mean, you know where he's at half the time?
I mean, sometimes you kind of just got to read what the defensive lineman's doing and go from that. But, I mean, we had a lot of fun last week and earlier weeks blocking for him. He's a fun guy to play with.
Has there been a play where maybe you thought it was over and then you realize he's still doing things and you have to react?
Well, I think that's something Coach Wood does a good job of coaching us to not have that internal clock where, okay, it's been a few seconds, the ball's got to be out by now. That's something we're really stressing on. If we're like D lineman's still going, we don't see the ball come out, he's probably still back there. So we just got to keep on working on fighting that bad habit.
How do you feel you guys are doing as a group, protecting the quarterback?
I mean, like I said, we can always improve. I thought last week we did a little better, but, I mean, going back on the film, there's all those things that you see that you can fix, just keeping your feet square, making sure inside foot's up, stuff like that you can really hammer out and focus on improving each week.
And he's grading as hard as ever?
Yeah, I mean, he I mean, he demands excellence for us, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, we're just trying to improve each week.
Oregon nominated Tyler for Offensive Player of the Week. You don't see that a lot with offensive linemen. Can you talk about the senior year he's having and coming back from last year?
I mean, it's really fun to play with a guy like that. I mean, he's a good leader off the field and on the field, and got a really good mindset for the game. And playing next to a guy like that, being able to play with a guy like that's really fun. He brings the whole offensive line up with him, just in his mindset and the way he plays, the way he gets after it. So it's fun in that sense.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.